family moving into a new house, an abandoned house that has some mysterious activity, a creepy landscape. This Hollywood trio are the key ingredients to so many horrors, thrillers, and generally creepy movies, with many of our favourite classics having at least one. So whether they stay on your TV screen or you frequent one at Halloween, haunted houses aren't an unfamiliar concept. It's when we uncover stories of them in real life that it becomes frightening. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we will be looking at 3 creepy houses that saw cliché horror movie fiction turn into reality. Real estate agent discovers creepy doll in basement. Real estate agents, by the nature of their job, of course, look round plenty of houses. Whilst too many late-night films might put the rest of us off looking in the attic, the basement, or that one strange closet, real estate agents have seen it all, or so they may think. So most are presumably much less tentative than the average Joe when checking a property out. At the start of this year, in February 2021, this would change for one real estate agent. The woman, based in West Virginia, USA, shared some photos of a property to her Facebook page. This had been far from her average day at work as she stumbled across something she described as creepy in the house. The woman commented, "I see lots of weird and funny things in houses all the time, but this is the first time I screamed out loud when opening the basement door." As the basement door swung open, a doll or statue of a boy sat looking ahead. The most notable question is, what is this doll? Is it simply decor or does it have supernatural value? Some have suggested that it may be a lawn ornament. We may never truly find out. This woman in West Virginia is in good company when it comes to creepy dolls, with one woman in late 2020 finding a doll's head cemented into the wall. The doll peers out, looking into the room, thoroughly frightening the new homeowners and their guests. Apparently, embedding parts of dolls into the walls of your home, particularly in the basement, was a popular trend in New York City and California in the late 1960s and early 70s. This bizarre trend was referred to as keeping cellar babies, though there were more than dolls tucked into the walls, with newspapers often making an appearance and very occasionally cash. Whilst cash would certainly make for a pleasant surprise one day and newspapers act as a time capsule, the dolls bring the scare factor. These odd findings, no matter how frightening, usually have a fairly logical explanation, though that small instinct inside us that wants to scream at us to run and hide can oftentimes be pretty persuasive. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, it can be shocking to find a doll, statue, or ornament seemingly out of place. Group finds body inside haunted house in Norway, South Carolina. Some people are drawn to the macabre, with the supernatural and paranormal being a point of intrigue as opposed to something to fear. Whilst ghost tours and videos online are all available to explore these dangerous interests, for some people this isn't as good as finding something that is undeniably the real thing. In January of 2021, a group of 8 young people wanted just that. They went looking for authenticity in their paranormal, supernatural experiences. The group took off to an abandoned house in Norway, South Carolina, driving 4-wheelers, seeking the thrills of ghosts, spirits, and a generally spooky atmosphere, though what they found was a much more tangible fright. The group made their way through the house, exploring and anticipating something that would frighten them, though they made it through with little to report until they reached the back garden. Sat on the back porch was a freezer, and a group looking for something frightening in the midst of exploring is of course going to cave into their own curiosity. An 18-year-old in the group opened the freezer, a decision that would scar him for life. As soon as the freezer opened, a pungent, putrid smell quickly filled the air. The young lad who made the discovery said he thought he saw socks and blue jeans, giving away that this rotting, disgusting smell was a dead human body. Corey Antley, one of the explorers, stated, "As soon as the seal broke loose, it was just a horrifying smell. It's something you won't forget." Exploring and investigating over, the group contacted local authorities who were able to confirm that this was a dead body in the freezer. No information has been released regarding the identity of the corpse, nor has a cause of death been shared with the public. Madison Childers, one member of the group who found the body, commented, "You couldn't tell it was a person because I think it had been there for months." As she described the scene to officials, she added, "There were maggots everywhere." Another individual at the scene expressed concern that this memory would traumatize and stick with them for life. As they said, "I heard that once you smell a human, you can't ever forget it, and I can still smell it right now." In an unbelievable twist of events, just 2 days after the group of 8 found the body and the authorities got involved, the house burned down. As you would imagine, due to the timing of the fire, it was treated and considered as suspicious, leaving the public to speculate what else might have been hidden in the house and who was responsible. Remember to be careful when you go looking for something creepy. You never know just what you might find. The Stroud House. David Bissett is the owner of an old house, and where there is time and a history to a building, more often than not, there are stories and rumours of the paranormal. Whether these are genuine ghost sightings or simply creaky floorboards and a leaky pipe, people are quick to assume the worst, or the most exciting. His home, the Stroud House, is no exception, and the whispers of his home being haunted gained so much traction that he rents a suite of his home out on Airbnb. The Stroud House is missing some of those key details that make a great haunted house theory. There were no deaths in the house and no tragic mysteries or discoveries, though there was a death on the property, in the back garden. The unusual happenings at the Stroud House aren't the typical easy-to-dismiss noises or creaks. No, instead shadows and figures are seen moving through the house. Anyone with a keen interest in the paranormal will know that shadow figures aren't good news. They play a key role in many religions and cultures, and whilst some depictions, such as the Islamic jinn, aren't inherently good nor evil, shadow people as a group are typically associated with malevolent forces. Inhabitants of the Stroud House tend to debunk this claim. They say that, yes, they do see these shadow figures, but their energy seems, quote, playful, not dangerous. Of course, no matter the experience, skeptics do try to explain scenarios and make sense of them. Some believe shadow people could be the result of sleep paralysis or a hallucination, whilst some believers in the paranormal have suggested that shadow figures are people from alternate timelines and universes that we can see occasionally in our peripheral vision for an unknown reason. The Stroud House was built in the 1940s by Reverend Isaac Thomas Stroud, known as Tommy, and his wife Esther. Esther passed away in 1978, though the death that could impact the haunting of the house was that of the Reverend himself. Tommy died whilst mowing the lawn in the Stroud House garden. Could a death on the property mean the Reverend's spirit still lingers? Following the couple's death, the home was left to their daughter Mildred and her husband, Reverend John Clinard Brooks. John passed away in 1990, and Mildred moved. Eventually, the home was passed on to David Bissett, the great-grandson of the original homeowners, Reverend Isaac Thomas Stroud, and his wife Esther. Bissett and his family moved into the home on February 14, 1999, and they began to notice strange happenings around Easter of the same year. It started with small things, a light on, despite no one recalling leaving it on, then watching the light turn itself on with nobody near it at the time. Following this, footsteps have been heard, the shadow figure seen, sightings of orbs floating in the dining room, pictures have fallen off walls. The daughters, and possibly their dog, have experienced random, strange pinching, and a haunting classic, the music box often randomly turns on and off. Bissett has said that none of this seems to be evil, just confusing and strange, though I know I wouldn't be rushing to book a stay in this Airbnb. Whether it is a tangible human-committed crime or an unexplained haunted home, the world is full of terrifying, scary things. Those of us willing to seek out those frights could be named brave or daft. We'll let you decide on that. But what do you make of these discoveries? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.